the
Yep.
monitor, so don't let that freak you out.
Okay. I'll pay attention to you, not the monitor.
All right, hey guys, how you doing? Jeff Ballard here again, out on the Tiki Trail in New York City, hitting the Big Apple. Picked the wrong time of year to come here from Southern California. It's a little chilly outside, but what's the best way to cure the chills? You find an awesome tiki bar, and today I'm here at the Polynesian with Brian Miller, the man behind the Polynesian. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me, man. It's a pleasure.
So you are responsible for bringing an epic tiki bar, the preeminent tiki bar, to New York City.
Okay, that's a bit hyperbolic, but yeah, I've always wanted to have my own tiki bar. It's been a long time coming, and thanks to my partners at Major Food Group, they were able to help me put this all together.
Well, the reason I say preeminent is there's been there are a few staples here, a couple of staples that have been here for a little while, one for a long time. There's a little bit of tiki around the craft cocktail scene, but really there wasn't a place that brought it all together.
There was Painkiller back in the day, and that was on the Lower East Side with Giuseppe Gonzalez and Richie Picotto, and that, they had some legal problems, and that came and went, but they had a really strong following. Otto Shrunken Head has a really strong following. Recently, like Jane Danger at Mother of Pearl, she's doing like her thing, and it's starting to come around. It's been a joke for a very long period of time, but now you can look 6 years ago, you couldn't get a decent Mai Tai in this city.
Right.
And now it's like everybody's doing it, and more people are making Orshot. Tiki Adam Colasar, he's got his company Orshot Works. People are making their own. There's all sorts of great bars that are coming up and like doing tiki. Some on a small scale. This is obviously a larger scale. It's a bigger bar than I expected to actually open. So, but I wanted to do something that like honored tiki's past, but also kind of like move it forward a little bit. I did my little thing with Tiki Mondays, and that was all about just trying to make the party bigger and invite more people to it. Like, you don't have to just be a rum lover, although I prefer rum lovers. But, I want to be able to bring drinks like with whiskey or tequila or sake or beer or, gin. Like, just bring more to the table and make tiki more approachable to the masses.
And you've done a great job. I mean, you've gotten a lot of reviews in the press, a lot of people talking about it, the general public talking about it's a great bar. But you've also got the tiki community talking about this is a great bar.
Yeah, I've been really lucky. My PR team, Hannah Lee, has been amazing, and pretty much everybody but Yelp likes us. But the tiki community has been really supportive and really great. Like, I've gotten, not only fans from like my Tiki Monday days, but new people that have come, the ladies who tiki, the women who tiki. They've been coming in here and throwing their support behind us, and even having people that like live in Hawaii like come here and be like, this is really cool, this reminds me of home, because it's more than just, for me, it's more than just focusing on tiki. I mean, my decor is not the same as what you would see in a regular tiki bar, and and that's intentional. Like, I wanted to shine a light on the Polynesian culture and hopefully get people excited about the culture itself and see Polynesia, how it inspired the whole tiki movement. But it's like I kind of described this bar to people. I was like, it's Trader Vic's meets Mad Men meets Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah, I love that when you said that the other night when we were talking.
It's supposed to be fun and different. It's like, I don't want to be your average tiki bar. I want this category to grow. It's like Martin Kate told me. He was like, go preach the gospel. And it's like, it's all about the drinks. A lot of the times, some tiki bars, they focus so much on the decor and they forget about the drinks. And it's like, I wanted to put the focus on the drinks. When you see places like Paul and Shelby at Lost Lake, and Martin and his crew at Smuggler's Cove, and Bum at Latitude, and they're all putting the drinks forward and like making great drinks out there. And then you have the iconic Mai Kai, which is the mecca to all of us.
Right.
So it's there and it's growing and I mean, you're starting to see it. Tales of the Cocktail. Tiki bars are winning awards. Marco Dionysus won like Bartender of the Year, a couple of years ago or last year. Like Tiki's getting a lot of recognition, and that's great. Rising tide lifts all ships.
Absolutely. Now, you mentioned on the decor. I'm going to bounce back to the decor for a second because you've got a great decor here. And when you talk about promoting the Polynesian culture, I don't know if you've seen pictures of Brian. I've not seen you in the sarong, but I've seen pictures of you. And my first take is the adamant of Tiki, because you've got the stripes going across.
That was actually an Adam Colasar thing. The first time we started painting faces, he did the adamant thing, and it just kind of like took off from there. I mean, I've been inspired by, like, when I did Tiki Mondays, it was like the face painting thing was like something that Adam like worked with me on, and it was actually I mean, my ex-girlfriend gave me my first sarong, and I never really like wore it, and then my friend Joaquin Simo like came back from Bali and gave me a sarong, and then like I haven't taken it off since. Like, I've always been wearing a sarong. I have a winterized version now where I have like Polynesian tights that I can wear under it to keep warm.
That's dedication.
It's the most comfortable piece of clothing I own, so it's just, I mean, I don't, today's my day off, so I just kind of like rolled into work, but yeah, I thought it was funny too. It's like sometimes I've seen comments, it's like, I don't understand, what's the whole sarong thing in Tiki? And I was like, it's actually a classic piece of clothing that goes into Polynesian culture. Like, it's really not that far-fetched. It was like, piracy, yes, that's a little far-fetched for Tiki, but a sarong is kind of a staple of the culture.
And I still love the story you told the other night about, you started off with, I was walking down.
Oh yeah, I was walking down 43rd Street.
Walking down 43rd Street in my sarong.
Yeah.
That's commitment, man.
I've just gotten, I mean, in the beginning it was a little nervous walking around in it, and then I mean, people dress crazy all the time. You know, you can see like a little 5-year-old girl wearing shorts that say Diva on it. Like, it's not that, like, people wear crazy clothes, so I didn't think a sarong was that big a deal. It's just sometimes funny. It's like, honey, my eyes are up here. Like, I can see people looking at me, they're like looking down. But it's, I mean, I think the real turning point for me was like, I was in Moscow bartending at this place, City Space. I was literally spent a week in a hotel, and all I did was wear a sarong. And it's like being in a sarong in a completely another country, and like everyone looked at it, I was like, okay, man, if I can wear a sarong in Russia and like not be worried about it, I can pretty much wear a sarong almost anywhere.
Yeah. Now, it's that commitment that you brought to Polynesian culture and the decor, the pageantry of it, that you brought into the restaurant, into the bar. Yeah, talk a little bit about that. I mean, I love the stuff that you put together.
I mean, I'd love to take responsibility for this, but it's really not. I mean, this is my concept, but my interior designer, Vanessa Guilford, she just really ran away with this idea. The first time I met her was with the guys from MFG, and she does she's done most of the Pod Hotels. She's done the design for the bars and restaurants in the Pod Hotel. And she just, the first time I went into her office, it was like walking into a Tiki movie storyboard. Like, she had images all over the walls, different, you know, some of it was like Native American culture, some of it was from Africa, but it was like all of these images that like kind of evoked Tiki. And it was the first time in my life where I was like, you can see my invisible friend. Like, you see what I'm talking about. Like, all of a sudden my dreams were coming alive, seeing all these images. And Vanessa just really ran with the idea and like honored the culture, like really brought in things. I mean, some of it is like African influence, but others of like the paintings and the brass structures behind the bar, the Polynesian stick charts that divide the banquettes, or the booths. It's all amazing. And like, the more I got into, like, I was asking her, I was like, what book, where did you get this stuff? Like, where are you seeing all these images? And she turned me onto this book called Polynesian, which is there's a couple that has the largest Polynesian art collection in the world. And so I bought that book. It's where some of the paintings that are in the booths came from that book. And it was, the more I started to learn about Polynesia, the more excited I got about it. And I mean, I was one of those kids from the suburbs that like went to Hawaii, you know, when I was a little kid, and I've just always loved the culture in it, and this just kept stirring an interest in me, and I'm honestly hoping that this bar can stir people's interest in the Polynesian culture and like understanding it a little bit more. It's not about cultural appropriation. I'm about like trying to shine a light on the culture and get people to understand it a little bit better.
I think you've done a great job, you and the team, certainly.
Thank you.
And so you mentioned that you're in the Pod Hotel.
Mm-hmm.
So kind of a unique place for a tiki bar.
Yeah, I didn't think this, I wasn't sure this was going to happen. Like, originally, I pitched this idea to Major Food Group in 2004. It was like December of 2004, and I was talking with Jeff Zelaznik, it's him, Mario Carbone, and Rich Teresi at Major Food Group, and they were like interested, and I was working at ZZ's, and they were like, oh, you're the guy in the sarong, and like they literally treated me like a rock star there. Like, they were always so good to me. And Jeff was like, one night we were sitting down, and he's like, so why don't you pitch me this tiki bar idea that you have? He's like, why don't you make, I don't know, 20, 30 drinks? And I was like, how about 10? I'll pitch you 10 drinks. And it just happened to be that my brother Danny, I was telling you about as a photographer, he put together this video of a collage of like Tiki Monday, video of Tiki Monday. I sat down and did an interview with Dale DeGroff, the two of us talking about Tiki, and he put that together. I put together this drinks menu. I hired some hula girls to help me with presentation. I did like a Mai Kai mystery bowl presentation. Like literally the weekend before I was supposed to pitch this idea, my brother found a peacock chair, bought that, brought that in. I brought in fresh lays from Hawaii, and I pitched them the idea. It was a nerve-wracking hour and a half of like throwing drinks out to them. At the end, I was like, it's like, guys, I need to step outside. I was like having a cigarette. I was like, I gotta calm the fuck down. And my friends Ryan and Jelani, who were like helping me with the pitch, they come outside. They're like, "This was fucking incredible! Oh my god, I can't believe it!" Then Jeff Zelaznik walks outside. He's like, "That's the best pitch we've ever gotten, Brian." He's like, "That was a 10 out of 10."
Wow.
And I was completely blown away because I was like, "This is Major Food Group. These guys get pitched great ideas probably by a million people." And Jeff had said, you know, he's like, "Brian, we can't make a commitment right now." And I was like, yeah, I know. You're not going to make a major decision after a, you know, an hour pitch. I was like, yeah, you guys think about it. And so, literally Christmas Eve, I remember I was getting out of therapy. I checked my email, and there's an email from Jeff Zelaznik, and I was like, oh fuck. I look at it, and Jeff basically says, Brian, we're really busy right now. At the time, they were just opening Dirty French. There were so many things on their plate. The company is exploding. They're like, we just don't have the time. And I didn't act like it, but I was crushed. And at the time, I was thinking of moving out to LA with my ex-girlfriend, and changed my mind. That whole thing, and the relationship ended. I stayed here, and I was trying to find an apartment. I was trying to find a job. I was like, my whole life got turned upside down. And then I get a call from Jeff Zelaznik, and he's like, Brian, I need to talk to you. And I was like, okay. And I'm a little nervous. I was like, wait a minute, I don't work for Jeff anymore. I quit ZZ's. I was like, okay, yeah. And he's like, well, Brian, we want you back at ZZ's. And I was like, I just took another job. I'm like, sorry. And he's like, well, look, the boys and I have been approached by several different hotels about doing a beverage program, and they were like, we found this one place that, you know, every time we see these spaces, we think of you. We think you're like the perfect person to take these spots over. And he was I guess the people at the pod here were like, oh, we want something cool, we want something fun, like, what do you think? And Jeff's like, how about a middle-aged man who dresses like a pirate and makes tiki drinks? And they were like, that seems kind of cool. Yeah. And so, we, it took a long time. It took like 3 years to finally get the contract signed and get this place open. And it was 2014, I think, yeah, when we started doing this. And here I am. It's been a hell of a ride. It's been a crazy 8 months, for sure. Certainly the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. And it's made me really, I mean, I've always appreciated my brother, whether they're bartenders or bar owners or brand ambassadors or whatever, but the guys, the people that own bars, and run empires like, Sean and Jack at Black Table and Dead Rabbit, Megan Dorman and her little empire, Richie Picotto and his, the people that own several different cocktail bars. I have no idea how they do it. I'm exhausted trying to run one. You just really appreciate the people that are successful, and you shut up and listen to them and you take their advice. Everybody, I've had a lot of people that have been super supportive and incredibly kind. Audrey Saunders has been a tremendous asset to me. I'm really fucking lucky.
Well, you've got a great decor, great restaurant, great people, and at the heart of it all, though, are the great drinks. So when you say lucky, I don't know. You've got some really good drinks that you put together. That's not luck, my friend.
Yeah, I'm lucky for the support. I'm lucky for the crew that I have. Like, I'm fortunate. I should say fortunate instead of lucky. Lucky means I just kind of stumbled into this. I'm very fortunate to have what I have. My management team is fucking dope. Like, I thought managers were going to be the hardest thing to find because it's such a thankless task. Mm-hmm. It's like long hours. They don't get the credit that they deserve, and it's a very hard job. But my GM Emily is probably the strongest human being I know. She'll take on everything. Christy, my AGM, she's the mama of this place. She takes care of everybody. She listens to all their problems. She runs the show. Henry is just like the baller who owns the room, does whatever is necessary. I had my boy Tooch, who was here for a while. He was amazing. Even-keeled, like he was the most even-keeled person I've ever seen. Complete chaos. He was always calm. My crew, they're amazing. I mean, I could go on and on about these guys. They work so hard. They've suffered a lot. They've sacrificed a lot to make this bar what it is. And they're the ones that are executing the drinks. Like, I can come up and create them, but if they don't execute them, it doesn't mean anything.
Right.
And my crew they have worked really hard and questioned me and pushed me to be better and to help make this program as strong as it is. And it's a collaborative effort. Like, they should, if they don't take responsibility, they damn well should, because this program doesn't work if my bartenders aren't executing.
They're definitely executing. I mean,
Yeah.
I've been here a few nights. Okay, I have to admit, this is my that I've been in New York. 3 this trip, 2 days last trip. I've been at the Polynesian now 5 days. So
Well, shit, I'm sorry that I missed you the previous 4 times.
So I was talking with a colleague last night. It's like, yeah, I'm going back tomorrow. Wow, that's going to be 5 times in 5 days that I've been here. I don't have a problem with that because we came last night. He wanted to come last night to see the place.
I mean, that's what we want. That's what we're trying to cultivate, is like Tiki fans to come in here. Like, this is the house that Rum built. This is the house of Tiki here in New York. And it's like, if you are a passionate person about Tiki, I want you to come in here and feel welcome and feel like this is your home away from home. Because having gone and done Tiki events, like gone to Tales or gone to Hukilau and stuff like that, it's like everybody else gets to talk about, like, oh man, Smuggler's Cove, that's my home bar, or like Lost Lake, that's my home, or I go to Latitude, and it's like, right. Or Mai Kai's my thing, and it's like, New Yorkers don't have a home bar. They don't have a Tiki bar at home to be proud of, and it's like, I want it to be that bar, to be like the Joe and Nicole Desmonds of the world can be like, oh, they're the New Yorkers. Dang, go to the fucking Polynesian, like that's their bar, or Joe's proud of his rum room, which is his own house, but you know, we need something a little more accessible for the rest of us. But just having some place where New Yorkers can feel proud of, like, cool, we're represented, you know, like, it's, and people say, oh, it's New York tiki. I don't know what the fuck that means. I don't know what New York tiki is.
Yeah.
Like, we're just tiki. Like, I try to make drinks as well as Martin Kate and Beach Bum Berry and Paul McGee. Like, we're all just trying to, you know, we're standing on the shoulders of giants, just trying to make great cocktails. That's not Chicago tiki, it's not New Orleans tiki, it's not San Francisco tiki. It's tiki, and tiki. I think tiki is a big world that should appeal to a lot of different people. Everyone should be invited to this party, even the vodka drinkers.
Yeah, now your staff, they are top notch. I mean, when the times that I'm here at the beginning, they're super friendly, they're really good. But then when they know that I'm a tiki person, it's like they light up. Now they're really excited. They're talking about it. So they get some of the passion too.
My team is super passionate. Like I honestly have kind of like let them down. Like I haven't, because I'm worried about, is there toilet paper in the bathroom? Do we have printer paper? Where's this delivery going? Like, I haven't been able to give them the attention that they deserve. But they have been jumping at every chance to try to learn more. You know, they're reading books, they're talking to brands, and like when they see tiki fans come in, they light up because it's a chance for them to, you know, pull something off an app, or they have a recipe that they want to try on somebody, or they want to make classics. And I'm trying to like constantly give them classic recipes, but my team is like really, you know, they're thirsty. They are really thirsty for knowledge. They're learning, and each and every day they're trying to get a little bit better, and they're great at it. It's what keeps me semi-young, like trying to chase after them and keep up with them and keep them inspired. You know, that's the thing. They're the next generation, and it's like, I don't expect them to be tiki experts, but because that's a long con, that's a long game that you're gonna have to constantly work at, that I still work at now. But the people that are at the bar, they expect them to be tiki experts. So they're tasting rums, they're trying different cocktails, and they're the next generation. You know, my window is closing. It's like, it's time for me to pass all this on to them and help them hopefully become the next generation of great tiki bartenders. And, you know, take their creativity and support it and help it grow. You know, I want them to become their own characters, you know, do whatever they gotta do. I mean, God's sakes, they're fucking rocking sarongs behind the bar. Like, I never thought.
I know, I've seen a couple of them back there with sarongs.
We weren't initially going to allow them to wear sarongs, and then Major Food Group was like, when I look behind that bar, I want to see Brian Miller. And it was like, the moment I gave them the freedom, it's like they started showing up in headbands, they started showing up in their own Aloha shirts. They totally rock the sarongs, and they do it in their own way. I mean, my friend Kave wears his down to his ankles, and he wears combat boots. My friend Trevor, when he was here, he wore them short with long socks, and I was like, you're rocking a sarong like an old man. I was like, he looked amazing in it. Like, everyone, you know, my head bartender Ray's got great legs, man. He looks fantastic in a sarong. And like, everybody just started doing it. They started buying their own sarongs. My friend Andy rocks. Andy's like, he looks like Jack Sparrow and Johnny Depp. Like, the kid is incredibly handsome, and he just rocks jewelry, and he looks amazing. Like, he started wearing yellow sunglasses behind the bar, and I was like, oh, you're too cool for school, but fuck it, just keep going, man. And he's like, they've all just run with it, and it's great to just watch, you know. Nice. And now the wait staff is all jealous, and they're like, we want to wear Aloha shirts and sarongs, and I was like, it's not my decision, but we're slowly starting to put just everybody in Aloha shirts, because they're all into it.
Right, well, that's good.
Yeah,
that's good. Now, I can't let you get away without talking about the drinks. I mean, you throw around the name Martin Kate, Jeff Beach Bum Berry, and yada yada yada. You're right up there. I mean, these drinks are top notch.
Well, I appreciate that. I mean, I work hard at trying to put these drinks together, and I mean, I've been inspired by not just those guys. You know, certainly trying to do savory tiki was something that my friend Garrett Richard was exploring when we were, you know, before I opened this place, and I've just kind of run with some of the ideas. You know, the Via con Tiki is a savory you know, is a idea of putting coconut cream, cayenne pepper, and cocoa Lopez together and creating something kind of savory. You know, I've been inspired by like the Commodore daiquiri that we do here. That's inspired by Sasha Petrosky and like his teaching me that you can stir a daiquiri and it can be delicious. The double barrel Winchester is like an amped up version of the Winchester, which was like my version of a gin zombie. And I got inspired by reading Beach Bum Berry's Sippin' Safari and being like, fuck yeah, zombie, that sounds great. It's something that I had to focus on. I mean, I've been very fortunate in my career. It's like I was part of Pegu Club. You know, I had Andre Saunders like teaching me, you know, giving me my foundation for how to create cocktails. You know, I always go back to her. It's like, if I can't taste it in a cocktail, why is it in there? Or in her theory of like, let's drive it off a cliff. Let's try something totally crazy. Just so by the time a cocktail comes across the bar, I've tried it so many different ways. I've tried all the different spirits. I've tried the different juice combinations. This is what works. Did you try it with lemon juice? I did. What about Buffalo Trace? Yep, didn't work. Woodford was the one that worked. You know, and I've had the honor and the pleasure of working with Phil Ward. You know, who kind of has his Mr. Potato Head theory, where it's like, you know, you can take a drink like the last word. Let's just say, you know, it's gin, lime, maraschino, and green chartreuse. And Phil was the king of like, okay, cool. We take out lime, we put in lemon. We take out gin, we put in rye, and now we have the final word. You know, it's like being able to switch out these ingredients, and you know, working with guys like Thomas Waugh at Death and Company, and Alex Day, and Joaquin Simo, who was probably the nicest human being I've ever met in this industry. You know, there's just so many people that have been an influence on me that, you know, even my customers, Nicole Desmond, she's like, Brian, I need you to put a drink on the menu that doesn't have absinthe, that doesn't have 151 proof rum, so I can stay at your bar longer. So, you know, I did like the Black Bart cobbler, the sherry cobbler. You know, I kind of did that for her as kind of, technically it's a low ABV cocktail, but yes, it's got 4 ounces of sherry in it. But, you know, it started off with 2, and then every tasting I did for this menu, they were like, oh, put a little more sherry, put a little more sherry. And my GM Emily was like, I love this drink. I'm like, of course you do. There's 4 ounces of sherry in it. You know, but, and just trying to do things like, you know, the Jungle Booby was like, I make terrible tequila cocktails. Like, I worked around Phil Ward for, you know, 7 or 8 years. Phil is the one, he can take the 2 hardest categories, I think, to make great cocktails. That's tequila and scotch, and he just nails that. So I've always been, it's like, why should I work on tequila? Phil's great at it. Let him, you know, at Pegu Club and at Death and Company, let Phil make all the tequila drinks. But this one here is like, the Jungle Booby is just a twist on the Jungle Bird, and of course, tequila mezcal, oh, I love it, you know, and it's like, it's the most embarrassing drink I have on the menu. I was like, it's not a drink I'm proud of. It's just, it was the last drink I created. Like, I couldn't rack my brain putting together a tequila drink, and people fucking love it. And I was like, great, I fucked up in reverse. Everybody loves the fucking tequila mezcal drink at a rum tiki bar. Right.
Hey, you know, I love bringing in the different types of liquors, and just, I like the variety within tiki. So the fact that you did bring a tequila one in, I think is good.
Yeah, I mean, and there, you know, but there's other people. I mean, you look at like the Diablo, the El Diablo. That's a Trader Vic cocktail. That's a tiki tequila cocktail. I mean, honestly, when I learned that drink, I learned it at Pegu Club, and I learned the recipe I got was Julie Reiner's. I thought Julie created it. It wasn't until probably years later, like when I was at Death and Company, I was like, oh man, the El Diablo, that's a Trader Vic drink. Like, I had no idea. You know, so it's always a learning process, and there's just so many different spirits out there, and you just want to try to bring everybody in. Be like, oh, cool, you like scotch? Great. Here, why don't you try the smoking Sarong? Like, doing stuff to shrink the world a little bit and draw people in and be like, oh man, cool, like come in, you know. Tiki drinks don't have to be about rum. They should be, but you know, I mean, I love it. It's like at the same time, people are like, I don't really drink rum. It's like, you know what? That's totally fine. More for me. We can find another. We can find another spirit for you, and that's great. You know, we're just trying to.
Well, looking at the back of your bar, I think you have more rums than any tiki bar I've ever been to, any bar that I've ever been to, outside of rum bars.
Yeah, I mean, we're working on it. That's like a mantle that, like, you know, my partner Jeff's last name. Jeff's like, we're gonna have the largest rum selection in the world. I was like, okay, we're 8 months in. That's never going to happen. I was like, you know, Steven Remsburg, he's got the largest rum selection in the world. I'm sure Martin Cate's probably screaming at the computer right now, going, "Fuck you! I have a large rum collection." Yeah, Martin's got a large rum collection. Paul at Lost Lake has large rum selection. So does Bum. I just like having a lot of rum behind the bar. It just makes me feel comfortable, and I've been lucky. Jeff was like, he's like, Brian, you can have as much rum as you want. I was like, great. I'm really thirsty. I was like, so my GM Emily has been very nice in letting me buy more and more rum, and our distributors have been really great. I really like the fact that certain distributors will be like, Brian, I've got 6 bottles left. Do you want any more of these? Like, they let me know when stocks get down. So that's very nice. That's a nice bit of cachet to have. It's like people come to me, and they're bringing different rums. Brands come to me and be like, oh, do you know we're doing this? I'm like, no, I didn't. Why do I not know about this? So people are always bringing rums by. And I just keep stockpiling. I mean, I'm not a whore. I don't carry everything. There's certain things that I don't like and I won't carry. And, you know, people, why don't you have this? And I was like, look, this is not Burger King. If you want it your way, you can go around the corner and find some other bar. I was like, this is my bar. I was like, there's a reason why I carry the spirits that I do here. Like, it's very specific. I stand behind everything that's behind that bar. If I don't like your product, I'll tell you that I don't like it. Sometimes I can say it in a mean way. Sometimes I'm just like, it's just not my thing. You know, it's just not what I like. But the stuff behind this bar, I think, is really good. And the rum category is fucking blowing up. Like, there's so many, you know, old houses are coming back in. There's the Hampton rums that are finally coming back. Like, rums that are being produced by Hampton. It's all Hampton. And it's like, great. These are things to be excited about. I mean, rum, you know, they're always like, oh, rum's an up-and-coming category. It's like, I've heard that forever. Stop saying that. Just let a category be a category. You know, I don't worry about whether it's up-and-coming or whether it's popular. One of my least favorite words, it's trending. Like, trends die, and I don't think rum's going anywhere.
Right.
I don't think tiki's going anywhere. I think it's continually growing and getting, you know, more people. I mean, come on, like, what isn't arguably like one of the best tiki bars is like in the middle of America, the Tiki Cat.
Oh yeah.
You know? Is it Kansas City?
Yes.
Yeah, I haven't had the pleasure of going there yet, but I definitely want to go and check that out. Shit, I didn't even get to Lost Lake until like last year. You know, so there's like all sorts of great bars, and there's tons more that I don't even know about that are out there. And for the longest time before, friends of mine in the UK are fucking killing it with tiki bars. Like, the UK's been killing us in tiki bars for years.
Yeah.
You know, Trailer Happiness.
Oh, that one's
classic.
Yeah, that's a great bar.
You know, that for me is like stepping into like my childhood. It's like, oh right, shag carpeting and, you know, this smell of stale beer and stuff. It's like, great. This is just.
Well, it sounds like an interesting childhood.
Yeah. I did have one of those. Yeah, for sure.
Well, thanks, man. I mean, you spent a lot of time with us, so I definitely
Thank you for having me. It's my. You got to let me know the next time you're in, instead of just showing up. Now that you got my contact info, let me know so we can continue to take care of it.
Well, you know, I like to kind of sneak in, get a glimpse of everything, and see how it works. So
I'm glad you enjoy it.
Kind of my MO with that. So.
Well, it means a lot to get positive feedback back from the bar. You know.
Well,
it helps cover up all the insults that we get as well.
Oh no, yeah. To me, they're unwarranted. I think this is a great bar on any level. You take it as a tiki bar. I think the things you've done to extend the genre, the focus that you have within the genre on Polynesian culture, the drinks, the people, you've got all the pieces and parts pulled together in a great way. So
it's been a hell of a year.
yeah,
it's been a long time
only
coming,
only 8 months in now, huh?
Yeah, still in the baby stages.
All right, well, cool. I look forward to
Jeff,
many
thank you
trips
so
back.
much, man.
So,
please, yes.
and I'm going to go ahead and turn this off. I still haven't figured out a great way to turn this off, so they're kind of used to me on this. What the heck's he doing? Pointing at that.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.